Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Let's start with the story in which our OP's mom turned out to be very cool and always had her back. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. My mother is the queen of petty revenge. There are many examples to choose from with my mom, such as following soccer moms in SUVs who've tailgated her just to tell them they're setting a bad example for their children and they should be ashamed, to pushing shopping trolleys which have blocked the aisle away so the owner has to go looking for their stuff. She sounds mean, but is actually hilarious. Anyway, a few years ago, she told me about something she did 10 years prior when I was 16. She had kept this one secret for years. I had a boyfriend when I was 16 who was a couple years older than me, so he could get into bars for gigs in my city in Australia, who worked for the local street press. He often got into gigs for free. He was also a piece of crap, but we were probably as bad as each other at times. One time, he took a really good friend of mine to a show. Well, he snuck her in because she was 15. He gave her the ticket and flashed his press pass, which I had really wanted to go. I was so upset and told Mom when she asked what was wrong. In the end, neither my friend nor boyfriend could get in because, unusually for that bar, they'd ID'd her and told them both to buzz off. After that, they ID'd all the time. 10 years later, Mom and I were reminiscing. I mentioned how weird it was that she wasn't allowed in that night since the bar was known for being slack with IDing, and we'd go there for gigs a lot. Then Mom dropped the petty revenge bomb. After I'd cried to her that night 10 plus years prior, she'd rung up that bar. After I'd cried to her that night 10 plus years prior, she'd rung up that bar. She told them she knew that they were lax with the laws and was threatening to dob them if they let her runaway teenage daughter in that night. The runaway 15-year-old would be with a creepy older man who she'd already made a report to police about, and the police were apparently out looking for them. Of course, they pulled their socks up after that scare. So even though my mom totally had my back, I and every other minor in my city had to start waiting until we were 18 to see bands at this bar. And I'm not going to lie, I probably stayed with him for 6 months after that. And yes, he'd been cheating on me with her. And our next story. Make fun of my kid? I'll get you back somehow. For a bit of background, my next-door neighbor is/was a college student. She lives with our actual neighbor, her boyfriend. Typical crazy college kid, weekend parties, drinking on her patio all hours of the night, and weird hours. You know the drill. I figured she was trying to experience college life, so why not? You do you, lady. Anyways, one summer night last year, she was sitting out on her back patio with her girlfriends doing their drunk thing. I'm out wrapping up some stuff with my toddler daughter. She at the time had a medical thing going on that caused her to walk a little weird. Nothing life-altering and something that would heal with time. She did have a weeble waddle to her, especially when running. Sometimes she'd fall right over. She was out running around with the dog, and the ladies next door were waving and telling her how cute she was. All good. We go back inside, and I hand her off real quick to my husband. I want to go to the bedroom real fast to change the sheets for bed later. I hurry up. Now, to set the scene, my bedroom is the closest to the patio next door. The windows are open because it gets super hot in there, even with AC during the day and the lights off. I can do this by the light of the hallway, I figure. I can clearly hear what they're talking about next door. Do you see the way she was walking? What a little creep. My little R word, my little R word. Singing to the cheerful tune of My Little Pony, I guess because that's what my kid had been wearing. This was followed by sounds I suppose my neighbor felt a mentally challenged child would make and uproarious laughter. No, you effing did not. They didn't realize anyone could hear them, but I had the lights flipped on and was at the window and shouting in record time, "Stay right there, you B-words!" Effing dead silence as they realized someone heard them. I come flying down the stairs where I'm intercepted by my husband that has no idea what the screaming was about. At this point, I'm so mad I just burst out into tears when telling him. We both decided it would be better to wait to confront them tomorrow. Everyone next door's wasted, and there's no way of telling just how many people she has over. Besides, when we looked outside, it seems like they've packed it in for the night. Not long after this, we all go to bed. My husband was outside having a last smoke before sleep. Next door B had sent her boyfriend out to put out the fire pit. Guess she was too chicken crap to do it herself, as she usually would. My husband and he were talking. Boyfriend: "That got crazy earlier, huh?" Husband: well, your girlfriend did make fun of a child, so understanding that as her parents were upset shouldn't be too hard. Boyfriend: oh man, you know how girls that age are. My neighbor happens to date much younger women. No judgment, but it's not a defense for how they acted. They say crap and don't mean it. All little girls are like that when they're drunk. Husband: I've drank with a lot of women, and I've never heard one of them making fun of a kid behind their back. A 2-year-old, no less. So yeah, that excuse doesn't fly with me. Boyfriend: look, dude, I don't want no drama. Just effing let it go. Husband: sure, just let your girlfriend know we're waiting on her heartfelt apology. Boyfriend: whatever. Needless to say, the boyfriend's going to go with whatever keeps him getting that sweet drunk chick. Not a drop of compassion, even though he's a nurse. Effing awesome. Hope you don't work in the children's ward, a-hole. Husband came in after that. I waited for a week to confront her about it because I thought that what she did was so shameless she'd surely feel bad. Nope. I happened to be outside one day watering when she was coming back from wherever, gave her the stare down. All she could muster was, "Got a problem, B? Do something about it," before making her way inside. The revenge. Turns out that Little Miss My Crap Doesn't Stink wanted to be a policewoman in our town. How do I know? They sent a letter to the people on our street to feel her out before accepting her into their program. Just a standard questionnaire asking about our dear neighbor friend. Do you have an opinion on why or why not your neighbor B would not make a good officer of the law? Why, yes, I do. I wrote a effing essay, you guys, complete with photos of her lovely patio covered in cans and bottles from the night before, their dogs having to sit outside in the pouring rain all day. I guess animal control is too busy around here for that crap. I always got a "we'll look into it" response. How do you feel about someone on your force that makes fun of kids with handicaps? Who could possibly show up to work drunk? I sent it back in and just forgot about it. It was petty, yes, but it felt so good. I say this because last night I heard her crying to one of her buddies about how she couldn't seem to break into the local police force, which had been the whole reason she'd pursued her major in college. She isn't sure what to do now. Now, I'm not sure if my letter did it. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I'm not sure if they tell you why you aren't being considered, other than that you're not. In that moment, though, I felt vindicated. F you, you soulless bee. Don't make enemies. Stupid neighbor should have just admitted it was stupid trash talk. And our last story. City won't meet me halfway. Fine. Pay for your own damn hole. The background. I was informed by my small municipality that my sewer line had become disconnected and formed a tiny gap from the main under the street, which had caused a void and a small sinkhole. Research confirmed that I was fully on the hook for the repair, homeowner's responsibility, even though the problem/symptom affects public property. The city official who notified us called us on the phone, demanding to know that our repair would be complete within 5 days. This was before we'd even gotten the official letter notifying us of a problem. The repair would involve excavating the street and digging a trench from the break to the foundation of my house, including potentially tearing up a curb and public sidewalk, as well as our sidewalk and front stoop, and forcing the removal of a good-sized tree. The problem. In 3 days, we were going on vacation that included a destination wedding for my stepdaughter. I know, I hated them already in principle and hate them even more in actuality, but was outvoted. We notified our municipality, small village completely surrounded by a much larger city, that we could not possibly get estimates, arrange for a contractor, and have the work completed within 5 days. The code enforcement guy from the municipality was an officious little P, OLP, and was totally uncompromising, even dropping the threat that it was within his power to use the village's own contractor to do the work and put a tax lien on our property to cover the expenses. His deadline was that our village hosts an annual bike race, and he wanted the street repairs to be complete in time for the races. The sinkhole, about 3 by 3, was actually right under where large temporary aluminum safety barriers are erected during the bike races, not on the race course itself. In addition, the village's own contractor told us that in a couple of other similar cases throughout the race course, they'd simply filled in the hole with gravel and patched it as a temporary measure. The debaggery. We found out that OLP's deadline for our work was completely artificial and was due to a large ongoing infrastructure project the village was doing. Also found out that he would have way more than 3 days worth of hoops to jump through if he wanted to pull that tax lien crap, given that we just had found out about the problem. He wanted us to pay for the excavation to the street while it was open. His contractor would just real quick go and replace some sections of the main to which our sewer was to be connected. At first we were like, oh hey, since you need to do the work anyway, let's split the cost of the public excavation 50-50 and we can all save a little money that way. OLP was a stubborn, unbending little P. He said no way, no how. I agreed to have his contractor come over the next morning to provide an estimate. That contractor showed up at the arranged time, but instead of a clipboard, a pen, and some boilerplate forms to sign, he showed up with a flatbed trailer, a backhoe, a bunch of other materials and equipment, and a full-size crew. Oh, nuh-uh. Not 2 days before I'm leaving town, you B-turds. OLP had told him something else, and he wanted to start digging, so we said, show us the contract. The Revenge. The town contractor's estimate for the work was $12,000. This did not include restoring our landscaping or replacing the sidewalk or curb if they had to break them to do this work. This could have easily run into a few thousand more dollars. We said, oh hell no, and got our own contractor. Our guy got the job done for $15,000. Why this was revenge? Our contractor went in through our basement and blew in a fiberglass sewer line that completely solved our problem. No trench, no excavation, no landscape repair, no torn up yard or sidewalk or curb, and above all, the OLP did not get to piggyback his work on my dime. He'd put a temporary patch on the street for the bike race and rescheduled his own damn excavation for after the races. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.